If you never thought you'd see Bugs Bunny on a bender, allow us to change that for you. We've got the most controversial moments from animated series, and things get pretty wild.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Number 1. Do you know about the dangerous Pokemon episode? Yeah, this one caused more than controversy. It caused nearly 700 hospital visits. The episode, Electric Soldier Porygon, involved unique flashing lights that actually caused seizures in hundreds of children all across Japan. For obvious reasons, the entire Pokemon series was put on a temporary hiatus to solve the issue. New guidelines were put in place as a result, which prevented this from happening in any show in the future, and of course the episode never aired after that. But probably unsurprisingly, in a case of controversial cartoon moment inception, The Simpsons didn't shy away from poking fun at the episode in an episode of their own.
We now return to battling seizure robots.
It all comes full circle. And speaking of The Simpsons' inability to steer clear of offensiveness, Number 2 is The Simpsons vs. Brazil. Yep, the notorious controversy magnet of a series got into a fight with an entire country.
Look, Marge, I'm Brazilian!
The show was almost sued for their highly offensive depiction of Brazil in an episode called Blame It on Lisa. In the episode, The Simpsons traveled to Brazil and faced quite a few situations that didn't show the country in the best light. Homer was abducted, a snake swallowed Bart whole, and the city itself was depicted as a dangerous, dirty, and rat-infested place. The Tourist Board of Rio de Janeiro made plans to sue the show for making their city seem unappealing to potential tourists. Ultimately, The Simpsons creators had to formally apologize to Rio de Janeiro.
How to loot Brazil?
I got it.
Number 3. We never expected Arthur to say anything that needed to be bleeped out. In this episode, appropriately titled Bleep, Arthur teaches the viewers at home about censoring swear words and how the bleep is used on TV.
Here is what's known as the bleep.
Seems innocent enough, except for this man swearing about his mother's amazing apple Betty. Then DW takes things a bit too far, as she sometimes does.
What does mean?
What did she just say? Okay, it may be bleeped out, but DW repeatedly uses this censored swear word. She even says it to her mom.
What did you just say to me?
This episode was supposed to dissuade kids from using bad language, but that's not exactly how it came across. Ultimately, it was Arthur's most controversial episode and earned the creators plenty of strongly worded mail from concerned parents. Not as strongly worded as DW, though. Number 4. There's a reason you haven't seen this Antisemitic Family Guy episode. One episode of Family Guy is so hateful and downright strange, it actually got removed from the air. We expect Family Guy to be a little on the edgy side with its humor, but this episode definitely takes things way too far. In one episode in Season 3, Peter Griffin becomes fixated on finding a Jewish person to help him with financial problems.
Peter, not every Jewish person is good with money.
He then decides he wants Chris to convert to Judaism.
He thinks if Chris is Jewish, he'll become smart.
And even goes as far as to sing an offensive When You Wish Upon a Star parody. It was banned, and Fox was sued for its hateful song lyrics. Number 5. Peter's relationship with the Boston Marathon is also a controversial Family Guy moment.
I haven't felt a rush like this since I won that marathon.
Yep, fans of Family Guy probably aren't surprised that this boundary-pushing series made it onto the list twice. We all remember the Boston Marathon tragedy of 2013, when nearly 300 people were injured and 3 even lost their lives. Well, Family Guy made an insensitive joke implying Peter's involvement with the tragedy, and suffice it to say, it earned them another place on the list.
Let's go.
Number 6. We all remember Dexter's Laboratory, but do you remember Dexter's Rude Laboratory? A Dexter's Lab episode called Rude Removal involved Dexter separating the rude sides of himself and Dee Dee into entirely new people.
What the are we? Beats the out of me!
Their rude versions swore. A lot. And while, like that Arthur episode, they were bleeped out, it was still clear what was being said beneath the bleeps.
Oh dear!
It also didn't help that the rude versions spoke with stereotypical New York accents. The episode never actually made it on the air, but it did appear on the Adult Swim YouTube channel years later. Number 7. In one Tiny Toon Adventures episode, the characters went on a bender. We know, it's pretty shocking, and made even more so when you find out what Buster, Hampton, and Plucky got up to. After drinking beer, the trio then heads to school while under the influence. Once they've successfully offended the girls at school, they end up stealing a cop car and driving off a cliff. While the episode did end with Plucky Duck declaring that drinking's uncool, the episode was still banned. Too little too late there, Plucky. We saw what you did. Number 8. This episode of Merrie Melodies isn't so merry after all. In fact, it's downright horrible. The episode, called All This and Rabbit Stew, came out in the 1940s. This may have been the golden age of animation, but it was far from the golden age of civil rights, and this episode definitely highlights that with an extremely racist caricature. It's on the Censored 11 list, so since it's been removed from circulation, you probably haven't seen it. And trust us, you don't want to. Number 9. Homer Simpson gets particularly hateful in one episode of The Simpsons. In this episode, Homer makes a new friend and later finds out his new friend is gay. This strangely causes worry that Bart will take after his new friend, and Homer's hateful side definitely comes out. Some thought that the episode's message promoting tolerance was clear, while others thought the show definitely could have done better. Way better. Number 10. One episode got South Park, in its entirety, banned in China. Ironically, it was an episode about things being banned in China. The episode, aptly named Banned in China, mocked Chinese censorship.
Hey, these guys were nice enough to come all the way from China to help us with our standards. We can at least listen to their notes.
In response, China removed South Park from all its streaming services and banned any clips or discussion of the series from the internet. Number 11. What did Dial M for Monkey do to get banned? Well, in one episode, after a birthday party gone wrong, Monkey has to save the entire universe. Of course. He saves the universe from someone named Silver Spooner, and many folks who saw the episode didn't like the show's stereotypical depiction of this character. The episode also had a character named Krunk who was clearly a parody of the Incredible Hulk, and was also under the influence. As a result of the sordid subject matter, the episode ended up getting banned in the US, Canada, and the UK. Number 12. Calling all fans of the Boondocks, do you remember Winston Jerome? An episode of the Boondocks called Pause includes this character, a very heavy-handed spoof of famous actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry. The parody caused controversy for being nothing if not heavy-handed and having implications about Tyler Perry that were far from subtle and likely offensive to the star. Number 13. One episode of Gargoyles actually included an armed gargoyle, and things got pretty out of control. In the episode, Broadway gets his hands on a very dangerous weapon that he definitely shouldn't have had his hands on at all. Elisa ends up seriously injured, and for pretty obvious reasons, the network pulled the episode. Ultimately, the episode was aired after some edits that took out anything too graphic, but the unusually dark subject matter remained. Do you remember these controversial moments? Which controversial cartoon episodes have you seen that we missed? Let's talk about it in the comments, and if you love videos like this one, make sure to like and subscribe to The Things Animated for more videos like this one.